Season 1 of Netflix The Witcher garnered enough success that the series' second season was given the green light very quickly. A joy for the fans, for sure. The only downside is that the series won't be appearing on Netflix screen until this year. Not on top that the production delay the season suffered because of the coronavirus, and fans would be waiting quite a while to see Geralt return to the streaming service. Taken alongside the plots of the Andrzej Sapkowski books, these teases provide plenty of room for speculation. So let's look at what we might be able to expect from The Witcher Season 2. Here is the 10 things to expect in The Witcher Season 2. By the way, make sure to click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all engaging videos, and use that trigger finger by smashing that like button. Now let's dive into it. Number 1. Geralt and Siri are finally together. The Witcher Season 1 took place over 3 timelines, which moved at different speeds, before finally intersecting in the finale, with the Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, being united with Ciri, Freya Allan, the orphaned princess he is destined to protect through the Law of Surprise. Hisrich said in a Reddit AMA session that the second season's plot will be more linear now that she's already told the origin stories of Geralt and the sorceress Yennefer of Venderberg, Anya Charlacha, and can have all 3 protagonists interacting in the same timeline. However, that doesn't mean they'll be spending much time together at the start of the season. The official synopsis for Season 2 reads as follows. Convinced that Yennefer's life was lost at the Battle of Sodden, Geralt of Rivia brings Princess Cirilla to the safest place he knows, his childhood home of Kaer Morhen. While the continent's kings, elves, humans, and demons strive for supremacy outside its walls, he must protect the girl from something far more dangerous, the mysterious power she possesses inside. Yennefer disappeared at the end of the battle in the Season 1 finale after unleashing a huge fireball on the enemy forces. Given that fire magic reduces most sorcerers to ashes, it's reasonable for Geralt and everyone else to assume that she's dead, but that's clearly not the case. Number 2. More Witchers. Audiences caught a very fast glimpse of another Witcher besides Geralt of Rivia in the first season of the show. Is was very fast, as this Witcher was killed by the terrifying Striga pretty quickly. A very forgettable character, considering that not even Geralt recognized the dead body, aside from identifying it as a Witcher. In the games, 2 prominent Witchers from the Kaer Morhen, where Geralt was trained, features a lot. Eskel and Lambert are already cast for next season, portrayed by actors thus Ers Rasmussen and Paul Bullion, respectfully. There are no details about their appearances, but it would be cool to see them similar to their game counterparts. Number 3. A Sudden Peace. Blood of Elves, the first long-form Witcher novel, begins with all of Ciri's experiences in Seasons 1, inhabiting the narrative's past, in the 2 years between the fall of Sintra and the start of the novel. The Northern Kingdoms won a war against Nilfgaard, and an uneasy peace ruled the day. It's possible Season 2 will start from this standpoint, with 2 years passed in the gap between the Season 1 finale and the Season 2 premiere. But then again, The Witcher plays fast and loose with what it considers important, so the conflict between Nilfgaard and the Northern Kingdoms may matter to the series as a source of constant conflict. Although, as it happens, the Northern Kings in the books want another war with Nilfgaard in the books, so perhaps the 2-year time jump will be The Witcher's opening salvo as Season 2 begins. Number 4. Training Ciri. Much of how the early short stories outlined the world before Ciri arrived on the scene, Season 1 roamed the timeline and offered key pieces of backstory before the main Witcher saga begins. This suggests the real story begins in Season 2, with Geralt not chasing after Yennefer, which Ciri's questions about her implies, but instead taking Ciri to Kaer Morhen. It is the home he referenced while dealing with the Rotfiend Bite, and where his novel counterpart takes Ciri in Blood of Elves. At Kaer Morhen, she is trained by several older Witchers, including Vesemir, who was mentioned briefly in the later episodes of Season 1. Triss Merigold also becomes her teacher for a time before Ciri relocates to Alandir and eventually is taught by Yennefer herself. Number 5. The New Monsters. The work of a Witcher is literally to kill monsters. That's how they earn their coin. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of monsters in the first season of The Witcher. Yes, maybe the show starts with the killing of a Kikmora, but apart from the breathtaking standoff with the Striga, not a lot of creatures are present. If the show wants to ramp up the number of monsters on screen, they should definitely take a look at the games, where creatures such as the Night Wraith and Woodland Spirit are fan favorites. Number 6. Potion Making. The books of Andrzej Sapkowski are very descriptive when it comes to Geralt's fighting strategies, and this includes the usage of potions that make themselves out of natural and supernatural ingredients that allow them to have better chances against a creature. At the start of the show, Geralt is under the effects of a potion that helps him fight the Kikamora. Against the Striga, he uses another type of makeshift explosive. These strategies are essential in the Witcher video games, and if Season 2's writers are taking notes, it could feature Geralt's abilities with the herbs. Number 7. The Wild Hunt. Sure, it might seem early, but Ciri encounters the race of the Wild Hunt in the second novel, and they are name-checked in the first episode. Of course, the Wild Hunt lead to some of the saga's most out-there ideas and locations. We expect the series will avoid many of these dimension-hopping ideas in favor of a more straightforward fantasy after all. It already has another Arturian series on the way in the form of Cursed. That said, the place the Wild Hunt comes from would be an amazing twist and set up Ciri's ultimate place in the story, and couldn't look any stranger than Brooklyn Forest when realized on screen. Number 8. Violet, a new character. It's also been announced that Carmel Laniando will play Violet, a character who seemingly doesn't appear in the books unless this is just a name change for an existing character. One possibility is that she's one of the young acolytes of the fertility goddess Meliette in a lander where Ciri is educated and trained by Yennefer. But the description of Violet as a young girl whose playful and whimsical demeanor is a front for a smarter and more sadistic character hints at another possibility. In Grain of Truth, Nivellen is sharing the manor with a young woman he believes to be a Rusalka, a sort of nymph, but who turns out to actually be a vampire looking to turn him into a true monster. That character's name is Verena in the book, but the description of Violet above could certainly indicate that she's actually Verena. Number 9. The Two Swords. Fans who played the classic game from CD Red Project might have been disappointed with one aspect of the first season of The Witcher. While Geralt is seen carrying a sword on his back, as is described in the books, the show doesn't really explain why that is. Believe it or not, the two swords on the back are an invention of the games. Witchers in this universe use two kinds of swords, one of steel to kill physical creatures, and one of silver to kill magical creatures. In the games, it makes sense to carry two swords at a time, but in the show and books, Geralt only carries the one more useful to him, which makes sense. If the two words appear, that would be more for the fan service. Number 10, The Prophecy. Fantasy worlds love their prophecies, and the one regarding Ciri is quite interesting. Well, depending on how much of it Ciri decides to use. It is the reason Nilfgaardian Emperor Emir wants to possess her so badly. We'll avoid getting into specifics here, but we expect the nature of the prophecy and what it means for all the principal characters will come to light in Season 2. Are you guys excited for Season 2? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And hey, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we continue giving you the best content. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.